We are in a severe thunderstorm watch with possible winds between 70 and 80 miles per hour coming. Definitely seen some pretty nice gusts, probably 20, 30 mile an hour gusts. Thunder's just kind of rolling in the distance, and yeah, I expect it to get a little bit worse, most likely. I think it's in Lake City right now, the storm, or just passing that area. We got a little gust there. This is what it looks like when you're preparing for a hurricane, you know, maybe 12, 24 hours before. This is kind of what it looks like. Of course, there's no hurricanes around here, but there could always be tornadoes. Our plants definitely need some water, especially ones that are newly planted in the ground, and even more so the ones in pots that are just suffering from the hot, dry days lately. Well, I think we got the worst of it probably even before we started videoing it. I didn't see any strong gusts afterwards. There's a lot of like cottonwood limbs on the ground from like 30-ish mile per hour gusts. A lot of like right there, cottonwood little limbs and stuff. Of course, these guys are kind of fragile limbs, even though if a big one comes down, it could really do some damage. Well, it's around 3 o'clock p.m. Just got a report about 1:30 p.m. today, Eastern Standard Time, that, you know, it hit North Florida pretty hard. These storms, you know, a lot of house damage, a lot of power lines out, a lot of trees out, and at least one person was confirmed dead, and it's probably going to be worse, you know, once the final reports are made. But I definitely hope that most of you guys stayed safe. This is life in Florida, though. I mean, I think it's worse in Texas, or at least like northern and eastern Texas, but you know, it's still unpredictable here. I mean, you can have tornadoes all around you and not even barely catch a breeze, or you could be the only house in the block that gets ripped up, you know, and everybody else is safe around you. Tornadoes like to jump around and move around. They don't just stay in a straight line. I guess the Knowles are loving this weather. There's two that are hooked up. 2 garter snakes and a water snake all hanging out together. Head right there of a garter, head right there of a garter, head of a water snake, or somewhere around there. There he is. Oh, see all the snakes there?
Yeah.
That might be a gravid-banded water snake there. He might be pregnant. And then there's 2 garters. I wonder if they're a male and a female.
I don't see the other on this one.
One of them already started leaving. He probably went under there. That one's got a perfect tail too, as it goes and hides. Most of them you see have a little nub tail where something's been chewing on them, a cat or something. So it's another morning. It's been a few days since we did the storm video, then a few days when we found those snakes, and now another couple days. Yesterday we were in a flood watch. Today we're in a tornado watch. And I guess some of my friends in the Tallahassee area have lost power for several days. There have been like a number of strong storms, tornadoes, and everything in the Panhandle, just ripping it up. Blood orange here that we put in this raised bed has been wilted a lot lately. You know, the leaves have been wilting. It's not happy. Not sure what's going on with it. It could be an issue with, you know, just making these raised beds too fast and just planting them too fast. You know, some of them have done really well. This one, not so well. One of our caladiums decided to pop up about 2 or 3 days ago. And it looks like our little water snake is back. Anyway, I've checked on several of our grafts, and most of them look like they're dead. They're not passing the scratch test. A few will have like a green bud at like the first bud at the graft line, but it's hard to tell if any of them are going to be successful. So far, I've had 0 persimmons ever, you know, successfully graft out of what, this is like the 4th cultivar, and you get 2 to 3 pieces you could graft with on the, when you buy scion wood or whatever. So we definitely got one that took the KSU Atwood on the pawpaw. We got one that possibly or probably took near the bottom bud on a mulberry, because it's alive and it's got growth on it. The top 1 or 2 buds probably did not take, so we have to see if it's just going to die down into that bud and kill it, or if it's going to keep growing. We got 1 or 2 mulberry ones that there's some green or maybe a little bit of or expansion, you know, at the bud, at that bottom bud. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. But on the top, they're not passing the scratch test. May or may not be able to see it, but right there, that bottom bud on the graft piece has a little bit of growth on it. And this is the Wellington mulberry. So to me, it looks like only maybe 2 of these guys look viable out of the, you know, would you get 2 to 3 grafts out of each piece? So that's not good. That's a high failure rate. I guess I need to take some kind of grafting class or something and do hands-on, and have like a master, like nurseryman or something, show me how it's done. Say, okay, this is how you're holding this wrong, that you're using this wrong, you're doing that wrong, here's how you do it. Guys, so I guess there's nothing really exciting here except storms every day. Storms, flooding, tornado watches, severe thunderstorm warnings, watches. A lot of these plants are probably happy to have the rain, you know. Our figs are, you know, have little figs on them, and we have newly planted plants over the last few months, and some of them that were droopy, and some of them had already, like the new pomegranate, had already lost most of its leaves. So it may be on its way out. It may die, even though we just bought it. And this is a good reason not to even plant, you know, in this time of year, unless maybe you have a drip watering system. So if you put something way off in the distance, acres and acres out on your property, and have no proper way to establish it, plant it in the cold weather. Don't wait till it warms up. Stay safe out of these bad storms here. That's a nasty looking sky.